So today in our list of duties, working on these back bushings. The bushing material starting to come out of here. So I'll replace these bushings. Also replace these U-bolts, and then hopefully be closer to getting this thing ready to take it and get it lined. Also want to replace these here pretty soon with some park and brake cans, so we can have parking on our front and rear axles. As long as getting some new lines for all this stuff. Yeah, lots to do. 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. That's all you really need. And some pry bars. Yep. Remove the old U-bolt with the death wheel and the bracket. Then you get yourself some kind of drift or punch or extension, if that's your choice or whatever. Something that'll fit through there, and knock the other stud out if it didn't fall out. This one fell out. This one had to be hammered out, and it was a pain. You want to hit the side of this to kind of knock the rust loose around it, because that's what it is. It's rust inside that hole. It's holding it up inside there, and just keep beating on it until you see it start to break loose at the bottom. When it breaks loose at the bottom, take your drift, drop it in there, hit it a few times, and it should knock out through the bottom. And then for the bushing side, I got 1.5 inches on there, and then I got 1.5 inch socket around here somewhere. Yeah, this deal. It's 33 off here. Do 1.5 inches. And go to work on this guy. Alright, so let's see if we can get this thing off here. When you look at this, you can kind of see here why I'm actually replacing this. If you're somewhat savvy or have anywhat of a unkeen eye, you'll notice that there's a small gap right here. There's a great big old gap down here. That ain't supposed to be like that. This spacer in this bushing should be centered in between this hole. So it should be somewhere around this area. So all this stuff is worn out, it's starting to dry rot. It's causing the axle to rock around. So if we get that out of there. Is that a part number on there? Maybe. Anyway, should probably try to screw with the axle a little bit to get it so it lines up in there, because it looks like it's starting to misalign. So I kind of cheated. From the last bushing I pulled out, this rusty piece of sleeve that's attached to the fastening mechanism. Yeah, it's good having this, because I use this to make this slide out. So basically I just slid it in there, took the hammer, I greased it up pretty good, took the hammer, sledgehammered it in there, and knocked that out, and then slid this back out. And then I took a pry bar, and I've wedged it in there behind the bushing, and I want to start prying the bushing out in pieces, one section at a time, go around in sections, prying it out, spraying some deep creep in there. It helps to kind of break it loose and make it slide out. But you gotta do both sides. So foobar. So after you get all your bushing material out of there, then you want to get something kind of similar to this, because if you try to stick a wire brush in there, you're going to just keep beating your knuckles in the side of this thing. So I suggest you get yourself a drill and one of these things. Stick that bad boy up in there and go to work. So clean that up. I got to clean the other side up. You see the other side's pretty dirty. After you get the bushing seat nice and clean, shiny inside, bust out your new parts. You got new sleeve, bolt, outer bushings, inner bushings, and wash. So grease this stuff up pretty good, shove it in there, and squeeze all together with the bolt. And if you can't figure out how to get it from here, then you need more help than I can give you. Just a few closing remarks about this bushing install. Number one, always use anti-seize, even though it will get everywhere, all over you. But always use anti-seize on any threads where you put anything together, lug nuts, U-bolts, bushings. And yeah, just put everything together and get your impact and hold it on there. I think it has bottomed out. All it done. Get out of here.